Good morning, teachers. Today I'm going to show you how to put grades into TAC, including transferring grades from Echo into TAC. So if you've been putting your grades into Echo, you need to create a place in your gradebook to place your grades from Echo into TAC. You might have already done this when we did midterm grades in September. So what I'm going to do is going to go up to the top, the menu bar. I'm going to go over to the right to Gradebook, and I'm going to click on Setup. So it's loaded my first period class. If you need to change that, you can click the Change button and select a different course. I'm going to start on Categories. So I'm going to click on the Categories tab. Now, if you actually put grades into TAC and not into Echo, you'll probably have several different categories right here. However, since I use Echo for grades, I only have one category, and that's Echo transfer grades. The weight is 1 because there's only one field that can accept grades. And the excluding missing, that doesn't really matter because you're only going to be putting this one score in there. Now I click on the Assignments tab. So you will need to create an assignment. Again, you may already have one from midterms. If you did, and you just need to change some of the fields, you want to click the pencil at the far right. So I actually had midterm grades right here, so I just highlighted that and changed it to 9 weeks grade. Change the due date. That's fine. Make sure the due date is not today or a date in the future. Otherwise, when you click Load from Gradebook, that grade will not move over. And to keep it simple, I'm going to be moving grades from Echo into TAC, so I'm just going to give it 100 points. I'm going to hit. Make sure the Publish button is completely filled green. So just click that oval until it's completely full, and then hit Save. So that created my spot in the gradebook. Now I need to actually put in the scores. So I'm going to hit Gradebook, Entry. Now you notice this class of mine actually has 2 sections in the same class period. That's why it separates them between the 2 sections. If that's in the case for you, you'll need to go into each individual section and actually set up the gradebook before you can put in grades. So once I have this set up and ready to go, I need to go into Echo and look at the grades. So I open Echo in another tab. Your grades can be found in the gradebook. The gradebook button looks like a gauge. So to see each student listed, I'm going to click on the Students button. It's going to list all of my students. It's going to give me their average, their letter grade, and then it actually breaks it down by school-wide learning outcomes. So if you have a parent or a student asking you how they earned a particular grade, you can talk to them about the school-wide learning outcomes. You can also click on the Activities button, and it'll list each activity that you had in this class. Or you can click on a student's name, and it'll list each individual activity that student completed in your class. Now, the best way I have found to put grades from Echo into TAC is to use an extension called Tab Scissors. If you Google search Tab Scissors, it should pop up, and it's pretty easy to install. If you need any help installing Tab Scissors, just shoot me an email. But what happens is when I hit Tab Scissors, it's actually going to divide my screen into 2 windows. And now I have my Echo grades on one side and my TAC grades on the other side. So I can just, looking directly from Echo, I can type these into TAC. Once I've got all those grades in, I can maximize the window that has TAC. all my grades in. And then I need to go into the report card. So on the menu bar, I can go over to the right and click Grade Reporting Report Card. If it asks if you want to save, obviously you want to hit yes. You want to save any changes you made. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to load your grades from the gradebook. You do this by on the report card bar. You go to the far right. It's the fourth icon, the L with the lines around it. You click Load from Gradebook, and it's going to load your grades that you just input into TAC into the report card. Now, what you can do if you have a student that you've made arrangements with the principal and they should receive an incomplete, what you'll do is you'll highlight their grade in that field right there, and you'll actually type in an I. And this check mark to the far right should have a check mark in it now, and what that means is you're overriding the grade. So an I means incomplete. These three dots right here, this button also becomes active. You can click on it, and you can give a reason as to why that student is receiving an incomplete or any other sort of override if you're doing an override. For example, we are not allowed to give a grade below a 50% this 9 weeks. So if you have a student that has a grade that's below 50, this is where you could actually type in their 60% and it'll check the check mark right here. Once you've got all of your report cards set up, all of the grades are right, you need to make sure you hit the floppy disk save button. Now from the home screen, the report card icon should have a check mark on it. That means that you've actually saved the report card grades. If you have any questions or concerns about putting grades into TAC, please feel free to email me.